maybe it's too early to talk about the Stanley Cup. Maybe they're not good enough. But maybe they can win the Stanley Cup. In this video, I'll go over a few key points on how the Bruins can change their success last year to even greater success this year and hoist Lord Stanley. Okay, the first thing that the Bruins have to do to win the Stanley Cup is stay healthy. I'm just going to read off my tablet here all the injuries, well not all of them, but the notable ones that we had. Marchand missed 14 games, groin, did not need off-season surgery. Bergeron missed 18 games played. Off-season surgery was had, missed a game versus Toronto in the playoffs, and also he's not playing preseason this year, but he should be good to go for the opening night. Krejci missed 18 games to upper body injury. Krug fractured his ankle in Game 4 versus Tampa. He was in a walking boot for 2 months after. McAvoy missed 19 games. Bajork got injured early in the season. He only played 30 games, and then he had shoulder surgery, which ended his year. Chari missed the first 20 due to a broken finger. Carlo missed the entire playoffs for the second year in a row. Way to go, Brandon. He basically broke his own ankle by falling on it. DeBrus missed 12 games during the regular season with an upper body injury. Chara missed 9 throughout the duration of the year, and Rick Nash missed the final 12 games of the year. He was with us for like 2 months, and he missed as many games as Jake DeBrus, 12. So basically what I want you to take away from that is, if I can close the tablet, Bergeron and Krejci both missed 18 games each. That's like losing both of your top 2 centers for a fourth of the year. Carlo missed the entire playoffs again. Carlo is a top 4 defenseman, was really coming into his own down the stretch of the year. Could have really used him to match up well against Tampa and even Toronto. Would have made that a little easier. Hopefully we can get him through the whole year. He played 76 games, so he's durable until he broke his own ankle. Hopefully he gets better this year too. McAvoy missed 19 games. That's probably your top defenseman this year, and last year he missed about a fourth of the year. DeBrusque and Nash combined for 24 games missed. So 24, 18 times 2 is about 36. That's about 60. And Marchand's is not even up there. He missed like another 20. So you got like 80 games missed. Probably more when you include like other people. So you got 80 plus games missed from your top 6 forwards. At least 80. And then Bajork was playing top 6 minutes at one point in the season. So really, the Bruins last year came in second in the Atlantic with the walking wounded, really. So if we can stay healthy this year, that'd be great for my mental sanity and for our hopes at the Cup. The second thing that we all know can happen is Charlie McAvoy becoming that elite defenseman we all know he can be. Now, I don't really think the question is if Charlie McAvoy will become that elite defenseman, but when he will. Will it be this year, next year, 3 years? I don't know, but the sooner the better, and the sooner he does that, the more realistic a cup is for Boston. Now, I'm not saying we will win a cup with McAvoy one day. I'm just saying he has that capability to lead a team to a cup like a Drew Doughty, like a Duncan Keith, like Victor Hedman's trying to do Tampa. He has the capability of being that number 1 guy. He played number 1 minutes as a rookie last year, looked fantastic, dealt with injuries, only played 63 games, had 7 goals, 25 assists in those games. That's a point every other game for a defenseman. That's very good in this league, especially at 20 years old. Now, the Bruins have a good supporting cast around him, but the spoon that stirs the drink, or, you know, it's Charlie McAvoy. We go as far as his potential will take us, probably. And very important that he becomes elite sooner rather than later. Okay, so when discussing a Bruins Stanley Cup run, the thing you have to talk about is third line production. A big thing that can drive a team to the Stanley Cup championship is the third line. And this year, more than ever, we have a ton of question marks regarding the Bruins' third line. Most notably, we have a big gap left by Riley Nash leaving, who was a solid third line center. And this year, probably going to have a new facer. It looks like Jakob Forsberg Karlsson. I hope I pronounced that right. I believe I did. He played a few games with the Bruins last year. Not all that impressive. He went to Providence. I think he had like 40-something points in 60-something games. It's something around that marker. I'm not exact on that. He looks like the leader of that line right now. He's been playing with Donato on his left wing a bit in preseason, which I know a lot of people are expecting Donato to be a top 6 forward, but judging by some of the preseason lines, it looks like they might want to get him familiar with JFK. And if you put him on the third line left wing, you then put him back on his natural shooting side because he's a lefty, which could be good for depth scoring in the long run, even though we want to see Ryan Donato as a top 6 forward. When you come to the right wing, you have Heinen, Backes, Bajork probably. That's probably going to be one of them is going to be on your third line. I could see Heinen being on the second line, especially if Donato is on the third line. Backes on daily faceoff is listed as the second line right wing, but I don't think he can hang on that line, to be honest. I think he's a little too slow. I think Heinen, who had the 5th most points on the Bruins last year, should probably get that look on the second line, but it wouldn't shock me to see him start on the third line. If not, it's Backes. And I put Bajork on both sides. He's a dual winger. He can play both sides, kind of like Donato. But I really don't know if Bajork will make the team because of his injury. He just came back from it. Who knows? The other nominees, or people who can make the third line center spot, Trent Frederick, who has a step behind JFK, as to my knowledge. Frederick, former first-round pick out of Wisconsin. He had a good season last year in the Big Ten, I think around a point per game. And he also did decent production, for my knowledge, in Providence at the end of the year when he signed his pro deal. He could very well take the third line spot. I just think the Bruins would go with JFK because they're more familiar with him. You also have David Backes, who played center for most of his career for St. Louis. He could slide into that spot. Then you got Sean Corrali, who in the offseason said he was gunning for the third line spot, but I don't think he's actually going to get that. I think Bruce Cassidy much prefers him on the fourth line. So really, you don't really know what you're going to get, but all you know is you need third line production to win a Stanley Cup. Every team rides depth to the finals, really. If you don't have all 3 of your lines, or all 4, but really the first 3 lines are more important than the 4th. If you don't have 3 lines going, you're probably not winning a cup. So this is key to the Bruins winning a cup. Okay, the 4th thing that I think needs to happen for the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup is that they trade for a top 6 forward. Now, if you look currently right now, they have Pastrnak, Heinen, Donato. Donato might not even be a right wing. He might be a center further down in his career. He might be a left wing. He's a natural left shot, unless they plan on playing him on the opposite side. Then you got Bajork, who knows what you got there. Looked okay last year. Backes is not the long-term solution for a top 6 right wing. Donato, it really depends how you play him and if you think he's ready this year. Personally, I think Donato would be better suited for a third line role, playing next to JFK at the moment. And I think Heinen is a perfect third line right wing. I don't think he should be playing top 6 minutes. So I think right now, if you're trying to win this year and you're trying to win the Stanley Cup, you need a top 6 forward. And some rumored people, or people I just picked out of nowhere, all of them are on 1 year remaining. They all have 1 year remaining on their contracts. That is, number 1's Artemi Panarin. He's rumored to not want to be in Columbus. That could be contract tactics. I don't really know. Rumored he wants to go to like the West Coast, like San Jose, LA, something like that. Who knows though? You never really know. Hockey players don't really just come out and say it. Next is Mark Stone. He's got 1 year in hell. I mean Ottawa. It's really a weirdly run organization. They just traded Erik Karlsson. They traded Mike Hoffman. It's being torn down. Craig Anderson will probably go eventually. I would think they should probably trade all their good players for picks just to rebuild. They need to go all in on that. It's amazing they were in the Eastern Conference Finals just 2 seasons ago. But he's on a 1 year deal. And then third, Matt Zuccarello. Now, Zuccarello has 1 year left on his contract too. And I think he'd be a pure rental because I don't think you're going to want to sign him long term because I think he's already 31, whereas Panarin and Stone, I believe, are around the age of 26. I'm not sure if they're exactly 26, but if they're around that age. So if you get 1 or 2, Panarin or Mark Stone, that's more of a long-term commitment because I want you to trade for them, then re-sign them. If you're going for a rental, I say Matt Zuccarello because you can get him for the season. I'd hope you trade for him before the deadline so he can get acclimated to the system and all that. Matt Zuccarello would just be a rental, though. He'd play the year and then he'd leave. So hopefully he wouldn't have to give up a first-round pick or something like that again like we did for Rick Nash. But Matt Zuccarello's price would probably be a little higher than Rick Nash's, so we'd probably be getting rid of some good prospects. But those are the 3 guys that come to mind. I bet more will come along as we see who's really good in the league and not. But I think the Bruins, if they truly want to contend this year, I think it's best suited for them to get a top 6 right wing. The 5th and final thing that I'll bring up that the Bruins need to go their way to win the Stanley Cup this year is goaltending. You're not going to get far in the playoffs if your goaltending isn't above average at least. You can win with a not superstar goalie, but you can't win with bad goalies. It just doesn't really work out that way. Rarely, I don't think really ever has a bad goalie won a Stanley Cup. But that can be debated, but still. Tuukka Rask last year had a good year as a whole. When you break it down into parts though, it was very up and down. At the beginning of the year, Tuukka Rask not the best in the world. Middle of the season, Hudobin took over the starting job for a little bit. Tuukka eventually gained it back. kind of had a good backup to push Tuukka. Tuukka came back and was on fire. Heading into the playoffs, he looked okay. And then in the playoffs, we got very mixed results from Tuukka Rask. And in the playoffs, you can't get mixed results. His save percentage in the regular season, .917. Postseason, .903. Goals against average, 2.36. Goals against average in the playoffs, 2.88. You can see everything got worse in the playoffs. Record in the regular season, 34, 14, and 5. Playoffs, 5 and 7. Now, I'm pretty sure you'll get a good regular season from Tuukka. He is pretty above average. That's how I describe Tuukka Rask. I think his contract, you know, I don't think we should look as fans at that contract and say, wow, that's really holding us back, because with all the young players we have, it really isn't this year. But you just need solid in the regular season. You need him to stay solid in the postseason, and the Bruins can have a real shot. Now, another thing that's interesting is the backup situation has changed. We have gotten rid of Anton Khudobin, and we have brought in Yaroslav Halak. Anton Khudobin took over a big responsibility in the regular season and played, I want to say he played probably like 20-plus games, which is a decent amount for a backup in this league. We bring on a starter from the New York Islanders, Yaroslav Halak, who I don't think the numbers do him justice because the Islanders' defense was horrible. That's where he came from, the Island. 908 save percentage, 3.19 goals against, which aren't good numbers, but he was playing behind one of the worst defenses in the league. So I'm very interested to see how good Halak actually is still. He's a little older, he's a little passing, he's not a starter anymore. I think the backup role is going to be nice for him. And if you can get him to start 20 to 25 games and give Tuukka rest for the playoffs, that is big come playoffs, because goalies can get burnt out. And you see it many times, teams will get eliminated because a good goalie will fall apart because he's just burnt out. Now, I think we're good until the playoffs. The playoffs is a true test. Because do you feel comfortable with a goalie? Can you trust Tuukka Rask in the playoffs? I think you can if he shows you something in the first 2 games. But I think going into the playoffs, there's still that question mark. How much can we trust Tuukka Rask? But I don't think he should be the reason we lose in the playoffs. He definitely wasn't against Tampa last season. And that's about all I got for the video. There's definitely many other things that have to go your way to win a Stanley Cup. But I think those are the 5 most important. And I think you guys would agree that I probably nailed what we need to address. If you have any other suggestions you want the Bruins to do, or if you think I'm completely wrong, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like button, it's the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you want to follow me for more Bruins coverage. I will be doing reviews after every game for the most part. They won't be as long as this video. They'll be a lot shorter for the regular season. I'll do other video topics on the Bruins. And I have a few more videos coming out before the regular season begins, so you have that to look forward to.